Hi, everybody. Well, the desk is empty and it's getting prepared to do this funky fabric fusion slow stitching. It's going to be fun from the get-go. But before we do that, I want to show you a special visitor that I'm having right now, probably for about 6 or 7 weeks. These are the monarch butterflies that are right now migrating from northeast parts of North America to Mexico. They have a very, very long journey. And they stop here, some of them that are passing through here in northeast Texas. And I have nandinas planted specifically for them. And they are blooming very well, and these monarch butterflies are taking advantage. They're kind of doing a pit stop, stopping over. According to what I read, they will rest up a day or two and feed and re-energize and then go again. And so they do this in all across their migrating route that they take. So anyway, I wanted to show you, I took some pictures of them. And so here are my monarch friends. Okay, let's get started. How do you get started? You make a pile of funky fabrics and textile scraps. And I do mean a pile. And we're just going to pile them up because this funky fabric fusion comes about because we're going to incorporate all these things that don't normally go together. We're going to fuse them together and make some beautiful slow stitch pieces out of it. So what does a pile of funky fabric fusion look like? Well, I've got one here for you. This one's pretty much one that's completed that I'm going to start with. Now, what I did was I went and I explored. And I did a little prospecting in drawers that I haven't been in a while. And let me tell you, places where you can find things. Back of your closets. Clothes that you've stuffed around that you don't wear anymore, but that you might could cut up or get cute things off of. Pockets and trims and laces and buttons and all kinds of things like that. What about that project bag that you did and you threw up in the top of the closet and you said, I'll get back to that? And let's see, that was what, 3 years ago? Well, pull that thing out because it's probably got a gem in it that you want to use. Look in your drawers. You could look in your present crafting shelves, but move things around and look at the back and see what's back there that you forgot you had. Or look at the bottom of a basket of stuff that you've got. I'm always finding stuff at the bottom of a basket. So just wherever you haven't been recently, do some exploring and prospecting. Now, prospecting doesn't mean that it's all gold or it's all going to be used, but what it does mean is it has possibilities. And here are possibilities that there's some gold in here, some gems in here that we're going to create with. So we're going to prospect with this whole funky fabric fusion stash pile, whatever you want to call it right here. It's chaotic, but from the get-go, you want to have fun. You want to throw things together that you normally didn't throw. And while we're talking, I spied a little bag that I've been stuck back here. Look at this. I haven't used this, and I forgot I even stuck it back there. All kinds of cute strips. Okay? Great, great, good. And I don't know what this was, but I pulled it out, but it has some interesting little fabrics in there, too. Look at what I've got here. I had some trim here. I've got some yarn. I've got laces. I've got pieces off of clothing. I've pulled that because it was wadded up in the drawer. It's all wrinkled. Got to iron it a little bit. But look at all the coloration in that. That's going to be a good thing to use. And then this was in the back of a drawer where I had cut things off of clothing. And look at all these different motifs that I can use. So there's just a whole bunch here to start with. I think that's just fabric, but look, it's just stuff. All right. So this is what a funky fabric fusion stash pile looks like. You gather yours, and it doesn't have to be huge, but you want it big enough that you can play with it for a while. We're going to make several pieces out of this by mixing and matching and using up this stuff that normally it's just going to sit there till it rots if we don't do something with it, okay? All right. Now, I'm going to give you a little time to get your stash together, and I'm going to begin a few pieces. And then I'll be back and we'll see where I'm starting. And I hope you got your stash ready to start with me. All right. Till then, let's stay fabric fusion happy. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm so glad you're back with me for some funky fabric fusion here. I'm going to warn you up front that I am designing this as I go. So you're going to get to learn from my mistakes, and I hope you learn more from what I do right than what I do wrong. But I just wanted to be, you know, have a video where it's all just raw and it's not perfect and pretty and all done when I get through. But you see how I can work it through and just design as I go. Now I have an overall idea that I want to make a small wall hanging, and I want to do it in this funky fabric fusion way that's going to create some fabric art from just our scraps, our pile that we put together to begin with. So what I got here was I had some leftover pieces of quilt batting. Now in this, it really doesn't matter how wide it is. What matters is how long it is. We need all the strips to be the same length this way for what I'm designing here anyway. And for instance, this piece here, you can see every one of them's just a little bit different width. This one's, you know, quite a bit, not as fat as that one or that one. And so, but the height doesn't really matter to me. It's the length. I want a straight edge on the left and right side. I do not have to have that on the top and bottom. Now, how I'm going to lay this out is pretty much. I'm going to do 4 of these little things. And then when I get them done, I'm going to put them together. I'm just going to overlap them and sew them. Okay, just like this. And so when I get through, I will approximately have, because I will be doing some edging on it, so I will approximately have a little wall hanging that's about 8 inches. Let's put that back on there. About 8 inches by about 13 inches. So that's with my little pieces here, okay? So let me see here. The widest one is 4 inches, and probably the skinniest one is 3 1/4 inches, okay? And these are 8 inches long, okay? Now these, I just have these scraps, and they were pretty much sized. I did stack them all up, and then I, you know, cut down the edge so that they would all be the same, on both same length that way. Okay, excuse my squeaky chair, but it's old, but it's comfortable. Let me lift you up a little bit here. I think my camera's tilting. This is what I've got in my head right now. When I get through with this top part, then I will put a backing on it and a little little tabs or a little casing or something to run something through so I can hang it. So now when I designed this, I know that I want my bottom to lap over. So I'm going to leave that very rough on the bottom, okay? Now, I don't want the sides to lap over, so I will be cleaning those up. The very bottom here will be lappy with something. And this will probably, top will probably be a clean edge, and then I may come back with something that just sets it off there. But you'll understand more what I'm talking about as I work it. I'll keep clean edges on the side, but I will let fabric drop over this edge so that when I put it on the next one, it'll drop over, and it'll be very hard to see where these strips start and begin, you know, because they have little lapovers on each one. That's my idea. We'll see if it works out that way. So basically we'll be making 4 of these in this fabric fusion type way we're going to do it. And I think I'll just start. And you know what? You don't have to do these in any particular order. When you get them done, then you can audition them out and see how you want them to stack them like that. So it doesn't matter which one comes up first. Okay. Now, let me get my pile of stuff and we'll start again. We want to do this fabric fusion thing. That means we want to mesh them together somehow or another and make it work. So let's just start grabbing something out of here. It's just a little fabric here. Let's see if it will tear. It does. That's good. All right. Let's just put something down here, okay? Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll have to wait, put that over something. Here's some stuff. I don't think this tears, but I love torn edges, especially when I'm doing this kind of fabric art. Torn edges are the best stuff. Okay, so we will just chop it up there, get you some different edgings and pieces and sizes and shapes. Okay, I know I want to use some of that. Let me see if I can tear some of this. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Now this is just intuitive. I'm just designing as I go. You know, some of it will stay, some of it will go. And we just have to see what we end up with. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. Let's just take a piece of that. Put it over here like that. So if this looks familiar, you're right. We are collaging fabrics for our base layer here. I say base layer because you'll have more than one layer going on here when you get through. Okay. Unless you have something specific that you like that you just want to leave the way it is. I'm thinking that this might be one of those things. I'm liking that, and it's really cool all on its own. So let's use a piece of it. Put that on there. Now we had this. Play with that like that a little bit. See if that works. Oh, I like that too. We need something under that because some fabric is that shines through. Let's see what this would do. We got this piece. That would let the purple come through. And then we could maybe not use all of this. Maybe let that come up and over. Or we could use it like this. Now this is where we have to decide, for instance, my bottom, you know, I want some things that hang over the bottom. And so we have to decide, you know, I'm working as this is the top, which would be normal to me. And then I'll let some things drape over the bottom down here and see how that works. Let's get a piece going on this way. And it has some drapey stuff there. And then this looks a little too much. Let's see, what can we do here with it? Give it. Let's use a little bit of this stuff. And you know what? I think I'll just squunch it as I'll sew. When I sew it, I'll squunch it. Squinch it, pinch it, mash it, whatever term works for you. Squunching is something I've been doing for decades. And I have no idea if that's a word or not, but it works in my vocabulary. I squunch all the time. Squinching it up there will be pretty cool. Okay, now we might want to try, let's pop a little bit of, let me get a little bit of got some little things here that are, I don't know what this stuff is. It's very delicate and fine. It makes very difficult to work with on its own, but when it's used for something like this, it works just fine. And it adds that little bit of glitz to a piece. Okay. Okay, this would be the first piece now that I'm going to sew. And I'm going to slow stitch it, you know, just sew it down, hand stitch it, and get it together. And then I'll make decisions about what I'll do from there, because, you know, you're never through till you're through type thing. I do have some, let's look on the back side here. All right. I do have some overlay. I do not want overlay on my sides. I'm going to leave the top alone for right now because I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do that. But anything that's hanging down the bottom, I'm leaving. Okay. To show you what I'm talking about, if this were sewn together and the next one was sewn together, when I get ready to overlap, this piece will go on top, and because these pieces will come down and overlap, it camouflages where we put things together, okay? So that it, after a while, it becomes one piece, but we didn't work it in one piece. We worked it in smaller pieces that we could handle and easier to hold and to work with like that. But now, out of our pile, we have got this chaotic fabric infusion going on here. And we're just meshing them all together and making it work for us. I'm liking it. How about you? Let me know in the comments now what you think. And if you're working with me, I would really love that. Okay? All right. I'm going to do some just ordinary stitching, running stitches. That's all I'm going to do in here right now. And just to get it down, and then I'll be back and we'll work on it some more.